In a world where cheap Chinese lights flood the market, should you too drink the Chinese Kool-Aid and purchase yourself a fine $300 moving head? Well, today we're gonna find out.
Oh, that was all I had. That was all I had for this. Is the intro still playing? Oh, okay. It's almost over. Yeah. All right. Here's the rest of the video. So, are all Chinese lights totally garbage? The answer is no. Well, mostly yes, but also it depends on what you're using these lights to do. For example, 3 problems that I've found with almost every direct from China light that I've encountered. Number 1, very, very loud. The fans and the motors, it's impossible to use this in a quiet environment, for example, a theater or a church. Number 2, they have poor optical quality. This includes the dimming, and it includes the actual light that is output. There's generally something that's not ideal for cameras specifically. So, if you're not a theater and you're not a church, and you are in a loud environment, and you need lots of bright light, you need quick movement, and it doesn't matter how loud these guys are, these could be a really great fit for you. The last thing that I want to mention is I would just never go with a light that doesn't have a brand name on it. A brand name means that they care about their product, and hopefully they'll stand behind that product if or when it fails. I bought these lights because I saw a very strongly branded product, and I'll show you that later. They have their name on everything. They've got an address and a phone number on the fixture to call them when something goes wrong. And guess what? When things did go wrong with this fixture, I called them and they answered quickly and helped me really well. So I would always go with something that has a brand name on it, even if it's direct from China. If it has no name at all, don't expect these people to help you. Alright guys, the Dage GT3320 is a beam spot wash, so check it out. We got tiny, cute little beam. Here's our medium spot mode, and I'll take a look at the hot spots that you can see on camera. It looks about the same with my eye. You've got a really big, bad spot in the middle, and it gets better depending on how you have it zoomed out. You can finesse it a little bit. Let me see if I can finesse this right now, just so you can see what happens. You can see that I can adjust the focus, but no matter what I do, so I made, here's like a soft spot, essentially. No matter what I do, there's always a little bit of a hot spot. So there's a softer wash, but again, hot spot is still evident. There's generally 1 point in the thing. All right, continuing on, let's go. So we got a hot spot. Here's a big old full wash, and honestly, it doesn't look that bad in full wash mode. Still, the hot spot is present, but it's way worse in spot mode. This thing has 14 gobos. The first few are kind of boring. They're just beam reducers to make it smaller. And then we have some other little patterns. Hold on, let me make this bigger. All right, you have 14 gobos on gobo wheel 1. That's gobo wheel 1. We have 3 gobo wheels to get through. So there's gobo wheel 1. All right, let's go to gobo wheel 2. Here's 2. We got these things look really, really pretty. These trees / leaves. These also look really cool. One of my Chinese friends said they look very, very Chinese, and I'll just take her word for it. But these actually look very nice. I like the way they look. This one looks super cool in the haze. It is like a bunch of little cones, essentially. It looks very neat. Here's your kind of water effect. This one's kind of goofy looking, but yeah. Here's your breakup pattern. This looks like a bunch of little sparklies in the air when there's haze, and it looks absolutely awesome. All right, so there's gobo wheel 2, and these ones are rotating, indexable too. And here's gobo wheel 3, and I believe These are, hold on. Are these rotatable? Selection rotate. No, all you can do is just shake them actually. Just shake them. Alright. So you can't rotate Gobo Wheel 3 or 1. You can shake Gobo Wheel 1 and 3, but you can rotate Gobo Wheel 2. So here's Gobo Wheel 3 still. You've got a total of like 25 Gobos. And then you have this, which is kind of like a faux animation wheel. It's really just a few Gobos in line that you can move back and forth. So it's not a real animation wheel, but it is their attempt to give you an animation wheel. And here are some of the effects you can do with it. So you can see I have Gobo Wheel 2 out of focus underneath this Gobo Wheel 3. And I can change the focus of things. Here's like a water effect with like the moving animation wheel going over it. And I could change the color of that to, let's say, aqua. Now you can have a cool water effect. All right. There's another animation kind of effect you can do. The zoom range on these is really, really impressive, although the only shortcoming is you have to refocus every single Gobo every time you change the zoom. So yeah, my next lights hopefully will have an automatic focusing system in them, because it is a lot of work to refocus every single position and zoom that you make. It is a ton of work. Here's Gobo Shake with kind of a transition between different Gobo layers. So you can get some pretty unique effects out of this light. Not sure it's necessarily what you want, but hey, it can do it. Here is our prism. We have two prisms in the fixture, and this is actually both of those prisms over top of each other. 8 and 24 facet. And they look really, really cool when there's haze in the air. So there's the 24 facet by itself. Now, one issue that I have is when you go into prism mode, you lose the ability to zoom or focus. Unfortunately, it just cuts off that part of the optical train. So this is all I can do in prism mode. I can essentially change the size of the prism, and that is it. I just have a limited amount of space that I can move with the prisms engaged, essentially. So that's it. That's all I can do. Kind of funky, but all right. So here is some slow movement of the fixture. I'm looking at it, and it's pretty good. You know, some lights have a problem where the motors are a little bit jerky at slower speeds. And honestly, these guys are pretty awesome. They look pretty good. Gotta hand it to them. Little bit jerky, but it's not awful. I've seen worse. Let's put it that way. It's kind of like not the best I've ever seen, and it's certainly not the worst. It's pretty awesome, actually. Let's be real. For the price, there's nothing that I've seen that really touches these. So we can speed it up a little bit. For the size of these fixtures, they really move it along pretty good. It's about as fast as I think I can get them. All right. And that is the show. Now remember how I mentioned it's important to have a company that has a strong brand? Every single piece of plastic on this light has their name printed on it. I mean, it is just absolutely everywhere. There it is again. It's on the handles. I mean, it's on every body piece. It's even on the internal components, like this fan, which is very well labeled with its, you know, inputs and everything. And that was really handy when I had to replace 2 of them, which is actually the only thing that I've had to replace on these units in 3 years and 50 shows. That's been it. I love that they put this, you know, sticker with input voltages, the lamp type, how much power the unit draws. It gives a contact info for them. Who knows if these certifications are real or not. But it looks good for an inspector, maybe. Yeah, but they have been really, really pretty good and reliable. You know, there are issues with them, obviously. They are not perfect, but there is nothing at this price range competing with this feature set. I mean, nothing. Even fixtures 4 times as expensive can't touch these. And there's always, you know, trade-offs for everything. There's no kind of perfect, magic, special thing, but all in all, excellent, excellent fixture, and I couldn't recommend them more to anybody. So yeah, go out and get yourself a pair of Chinese moving heads. Put on a show. Peace.